Cruisin' on 7, brought to you by Auto Gallery Subaru, located at 609 Winnipeg Street, has an excellent selection of premium pre-owned vehicles for every budget, featuring Subaru's legendary and award-winning all-wheel drive. Auto Gallery Subaru will make your experience one to remember.
Hey, welcome to Cruisin' on 7. We're at the Saskatchewan Ford Mercury show here at the Northgate Mall in Regina. Come on, let's check out a few rides. It's a hot day, but there's some really cool rides here. So I'm here with Peter Hannes. He's got a 1960 Lincoln Continental Mark V, never been restored, convertible.
That's right.
Tell us about your car.
I bought this car in 15 out of Prince Albert. I'm the fifth owner on it. The car originally came from California in 1982. There was one paint job on it in 1980 in California before it arrived here. Then it landed up at a farmer's somewhere south of south of Regina. I don't know really where, and then after he had it from I don't know how many years, but then it landed up in PA, and then after the guy had it for several years, he sold it to this Dean guy, and he had it for 6 years, and he was losing his heated storage, so it came up in Kijiji, and I went and looked at it, and here it is.
So why a 60 Lincoln convertible? This is one of the longest cars manufactured, I think, by a North American car manufacturer.
Well, it's kind of it's a different car. You don't see many of them. They're few and far between, and being the condition it's in, it's a rust-free car. Everything is original on it. The belt moldings and stuff like that are a little deteriorated and weather strips, but that's to be expected with a car this old. The last guy that had it put the wheels on, the 20-inch wheels.
Oh my God! Look at those.
Yeah, I do.
Rolling, you're rocking.
Yeah, but looks a lot better than the original wheel covers. The real wheel covers are so ugly you don't even want to play frisbee with them. Yeah, so that's where it is right now.
Tell me a little bit about this treatment here. Is this aftermarket? Was that all Lincoln? That was
no. That's all original. This is the actual cover that actually comes with it. And these covers just cover up and they just lock in after once the top is down. This bar is not the original bar. I had to make this one up. The original bar was missing, so I just got this off another old car, and I made the wrong notch in there. But anyway, it works, and it does a cover up on it, and yeah. So the lid comes up.
Okay.
The top goes down, then the lid comes down.
So it's 22 feet long.
22 feet long.
And this is the original upholstery to it.
Original upholstery. Everything's original on it. Yes.
Wow. Let's have a look at that Lincoln trunk. Can you open that up on it?
Yeah, let me just find my key.
Yeah, I just want to see how many, I was going to say, could be a good mafiosa car. How are we doing there? Okay, good. Let's have a look inside here. This is a trunk and a half here. Look at the back here. Holy smokes. Nothing but chrome.
That's right.
In the days when we had no shortage of metal. Oh, look at that, huh? Hey, it's even carpeted in the trunk.
Yeah, it is carpeted, but I never get into it very much. But just a few pieces that I have here. I got some weather stripping, new weather stripping, and so on that I haven't put on yet. But
this is cool here, the way the thing. Let's have a look at the engine. I want to have a look at that too. Just see what you got there. What size engine is it?
That's a 430 Lincoln.
430 Lincoln.
Yeah.
My hot rod Lincoln.
Right.
I wonder what color it is. Do you know what? Jeez, look at that molding along there. Oh, it's a reverse hood yet. Wow. Look at that.
It was kind of a little bit different color, so the color has been changed a little bit, but
yeah,
it's a lot nicer with this color than.
See, that air cleaner is like a big pizza.
That's right. That's right. It's a big motor, and it's only a 2-barrel, believe it or not. There's a
2-barrel.
430 cubes, yeah, only 2-barrel.
Well, you get some good fuel economy out of it, maybe.
It's okay. I went all the way to Melville and back on a little better than half a tank of gas. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
how many gallons in the tank there?
I don't know. I never really measured. I fill it and drive it.
Let's hear it run. Let's hear it run. It looks so cool. I love the gold thing. So So 1960. This is just before the body change then too. I think 61 they changed. If I. Oh, she runs nice. Look at that thing. Listen to that. That's just purring along like a kitten. Ah, well, congratulations.
Has a few leaks here and there, but that's to be expected.
It's just 1960 car. So that makes it 58 years old.
That's right. Yep.
Well, what the heck. Congratulations. Nice car. Thanks for showing it to us.
Thank you.
So, James Lang, we got a
68 Pontiac Parisian.
68 Pontiac Parisian in orange.
Yeah.
Oh, tell us about your car.
Oh, I just bought it. There's a long story to this, though.
Oh, is there? What's the story?
2 years ago at the old Capitol car lot, this was for sale at a car show for $3,500.
Oh.
I offered him $25. He wouldn't take it.
Okay.
And then it was ended up in Saskatoon. The guy did some work to it. He wanted $4,500 for it. And I was like, no. And then last year it ended up in White City for $6,500. The guy did some exhaust work on it.
Oh my God, this car's going up and up and up.
Yeah, and then a month later after that, it was at Lumsden Disley for $5,000 or best offer. I said, I'll give you $3,000, and he took it.
So the car had a tour about all these guys.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
Why a Pontiac Parisian for you?
Because I can't afford the Chevelles and Novas and the Camaros because they want, for the rust bucket, $6,000 to $10,000 for them, right? So
what do you got in there for an engine?
It's just a little 327 two-barrel carburetor.
Yeah, nice.
It's factory good cruiser, good on gas to go cruising.
I had a '67 Pontiac Parisian convertible with a 396.
Oh yeah.
I have a little soft spot for Pontiacs. Yeah.
I have a 2+2 at home, a '68 2+2 at home with the 327 275 horsepower that I'm fixing.
Did you paint the orange on it?
No, I bought it like this. I wouldn't have painted it orange. It's different, but
cool.
It's good cruiser. It's a good cruising car.
Good for you, and a good deal you had.
Oh yes.
Thanks for joining us on
Thank you.
Cruising on 7.
Thank you.
You bet. So we're here at the Ford Mercury show, and we've got our first John Deere tractor with Tian McDonald. Is that right?
Yes.
And it's a John Deere, I can read, 730.
Yes, this is a 1960 John Deere 730, and it was built in December of 1960, so it's one of the last.
Oh, really? How do you know that? Do you get the manufacturer?
Well, I've worked for John Deere Canada for 30 years, and so I contacted the archives in Moline, and they have really good records on production. And so they were able to tell me this tractor, when it left in December of 60, it went to the branch in Winnipeg.
Okay.
And then in the early 1970s, my dad bought the tractor used.
Oh, your dad bought this
Yeah.
tractor? This is your dad's tractor?
This was my dad's tractor.
The old man's tractor.
Yeah, and so as a 6-year-old boy, he used to put me on this tractor to do summer follow with.
Oh, you're kidding.
And then he traded it for a bigger tractor a number of years later. And about 3 years ago, I found out that where the tractor was. My dad always knew but never said. And so
He wouldn't tell you?
No, I guess it was just never a topic at our house.
Yeah.
And so we kind of talked about it. And so the fellow who owned it when my dad traded it in about 38 years ago, he's retiring. And so he approached my parents and said, would you like to buy the tractor back? So I bought the tractor back in June. And my dad's pretty proud. I got his old tractor back, and this is my first John Deere.
What are you doing with your first John Deere tractor? You doing anything with it?
Well, this is what I would call a survivor, kind of like the automotive side of things.
Yeah.
The hood's been repainted once in its life.
You're not working with it though, are you? Doing any?
No, it was a parade tractor the last 30 years, and I'm just doing the same thing. It needed, just like any old car, the generator needed some repair, the lights weren't working, and so I've just been tinkering with it the last month or so to get everything working.
So what has it got in it for a power plant?
So this is a 2-cylinder diesel engine here, about 376 cubic inch.
Okay.
And then to start it, we have a V4 cylinder gas engine to start it.
Oh, that's a starting engine.
Yeah, so we've got a carbureted V4 gas that's about 22 cubic inch, runs about 5,000 RPM at high idle, and then
Oh my God.
there's 2 levers on the other side of the tractor, and one opens the exhaust valves to decompress the diesel so it's easier to turn over.
Holy dynamite.
And then the other engages the clutch off the flywheel of this engine onto the flywheel of the diesel.
That spins it then, huh?
And then spins her over and starts her up.
Did you drive it here?
Yeah, I drove it here over from our warehouse, John Deere warehouse on Park Street.
Oh, you
where I work. Yeah.
You keep it over at the John Deere?
Well, for now, yeah, and I'll take
you
it
don't
back.
mind over there?
No, I'm the boss, so.
Can you fire it up? Can we hear it?
I could. It takes a little while.
Oh well, we won't put you through all.
But yeah.
So you drove it through the streets of Regina to get
Yeah,
to the car?
yeah. About 10:30 this morning, I was on the streets coming over.
Oh, cool. Well, I think you're not the only tractor. I've done tractors, I think, in the past. Some of the smaller communities have
Yeah.
tractor, but I think the first city.
Yeah, the Ford Mercury Club, they came over and said to me they think I'm the first tractor for their show here in town. So I could have brought one of my older Ford trucks, but I thought I'd bring something different today. And
Oh, this is good. So how long did it take you to get over here?
oh, I don't know, about 20 minutes from Park Street. It's about 11 mile an hour in 6th gear. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Well, good for John Deere and good for you and your dad.
Well, this is 100 years of John Deere building tractors, and 1960 was last year they built the 2 cylinders. So this is a little bit historic for the company, and I've worked 30 years for the company. So, and this is the very first tractor I ran. So.
Good promo for John Deere.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, we're here with Trevor Ewart, and you've got a 67 Ford Fairlane. I can read the sign, and it's a 289.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your car.
This car, Grandma got it from the lot in '67.
She did here in town?
No, in Assiniboia.
Assiniboia.
And then my mom's first car and my first car.
Really?
So it's been in our family since it was purchased in '67
So this was Grandma's car, then your mom got it.
as her first car, and I got it as my first car. So it was my high school car, and then I just restored it over the last 20
This
years.
is so sweet.
So
Oh, man.
I've got a picture of me 2 years old in the passenger seat with Limerick Post Office in the background.
Got it here?
No, I don't.
Oh.
But then I took a picture of my boy at 2 years old in White City Post Office in the background. So
Let's have a look at the hood here, what that 289 looks like.
yeah, the motor's not really.
No, that's okay. We
up
just
at all.
No, it's cool. Did you paint it or is it?
No, it's been painted.
Oh yeah, there we go. The 289, the famous Ford 289.
Yeah, it's older, and I haven't really done a lot to it other than high school. I pulled it out, and the transmission. And,
You pulled it out?
Yeah. My uncle has a Bobcat, and we pulled, when I was grade 11, pulled out the motor and transmission, and we had it redone, and then put it back in, and I haven't really done anything to it since.
And what's the paint? Here, I'll let you close this. We'll just so we can get another nice look at. What is the paint code? What is that?
Well, the factory color is white with black stripes on the bottom and a white vinyl top.
Okay.
And I didn't like the white on white, so I went with the factory Super Cobra Jet blue. So these came with 289s, 390s, and the Super Cobra Jet. So I went with the Super Cobra Jet blue with a white top and white stripes.
Let's have a look inside here. I just want to check out the interior. So it's got the bucket seats and it's got the console shift too, huh?
Yes. So the only thing, so the
Grandma had some style when she was picking it out, huh?
yeah, didn't like the big motor though.
Oh, she didn't like
No,
it?
she wanted the smaller motor. So the vinyl top, the inside headliner, and the dash were a grad present for graduating high school.
For you?
For my parents.
Really?
And then I've done the roof, already done the front 2 seats and the carpet, but the back seat is original from '67, and the door panels.
Gee, look at that back seat. That's the thing. Nobody ever sits in the back seat hardly. Yeah?
My kids love it because it doesn't have seat belts, and it's before you need to be mandated to have seat belts. So they love being able to move around the back seat without being seat belted in.
Oh my God, yeah. Oh, gee. My son and his wife, they would never allow that. Gotta have all these fancy car seats. They're far away, so they won't hear me. Yeah, what a beautiful car. And what did you do for the wheels?
I do have the factory hubcaps, but the wheels I've just basically put some aftermarket stuff on. But other than that, everything else is numbers matching on it, and I know exactly what's been put into it because either me or my dad put the parts into it from the lot.
No kidding. So this was Grandma's car, your mom's car, and now your car. So where is it going from here?
My son probably.
Oh.
He's 11.
Does he know about that?
Yeah, he loves it. He loves the car. So he was here earlier looking at all the cars, and
He said this is it, huh?
yeah, he likes this one. So
Oh, good. Well, he better be nice to us.
yeah, well, it stays in the family, so you know the family history. So
Yeah, exactly. Beautiful car. Well, thank you very much.
well, thank you.
Thank you. So we're here with Ron and Diane. They've got an SL 500 Convert. Now tell us a little bit about this car. What is this model?
This is a 2003 Mercedes SL 500. It's rather unique in that it's a retractable hardtop, similar to the old Fords that were developed in the 50s, late 50s. Trunk lid opens up and the top folds up and goes into the trunk, and so it's convertible and a hardtop, so you get the best of both worlds.
So do you like rolling around with this car, Diane?
Yes, I do. Really enjoy
So
it.
it wasn't hard to, he didn't have to do a lot of work to convince you to buy this thing? This car, I should say.
No, it didn't take a lot of work to convince me.
We had this car in Arizona, and we drove it for a few years, and
You had it in Arizona?
we weren't driving it very much, so I thought we'd bring it back home and drive it here. And so we were just.
Was it a lot of hassle to get across the border?
Well, it's not really a lot of hassle, but there's some paperwork you have to do, and if you follow the instructions that they give you, it's pretty well straightforward. Just pay a little bit of money, and things happen.
Could you demonstrate how this hood goes up and down? Is that a lot of work?
No, it's not. Just hang on, I'll show you.
Yeah, let's see how that works. Oh, here we go.
There it goes. Okay. Pushing the button the wrong way.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Look at that. Whoa, a lot of mechanics going on there. Woo! Oh, even the window closes up, everything. Very cool. Very cool. Oh, he's going to put it back down for us, too. Hey, I love that, the way that works, huh? Good old German technology, huh?
It's sort of like these kids' monsters that go from a car to a monster kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Transformer, that's what it is.
Transformer, that's kind of what it looks like.
Good old German technology.
Yeah.
So did you buy the car in the States?
I bought it in the States. I bought it from a dealer in Marietta, Georgia, sight unseen over the internet.
Okay.
And I kind of took a chance on it. It sounded good, and I talked to the dealer, and he seemed reputable. So I had it shipped from Marietta, Georgia, to my house in Arizona, and so everything worked out.
So what are you driving in Arizona now?
I got a '59 Studebaker Silverhawk with a '86 Mustang Saleen running gear.
So you got something rolling pretty good.
That's right. Yeah, we have to have something to do to go to the car shows and enjoy the nice weather there.
So you're used to the heat when this kind of stuff is just child's play. Huh?
This is Arizona weather, no doubt about it. Maybe a little more humidity here, but it's the temperature that we have down there. Yeah.
Cool.
We just spend the 3 months or 4 months of the winter down there, so
nice.
Yeah, just to get away from the cold weather.
Hey, Christopher, do you like Grandpa's car?
Yes.
What kind is it?
Benz.
It's a Benz. We're here with Doug Krugel. He's got a '53 Mercury. It looks like you've done a fair bit of work to this car, Doug.
Fair bit. The guy who owned it ahead of me, he basically did the body work on it, had the paint job.
Okay.
And then, of course, everything else I had to do.
What else did you do then? Tell us.
Find new motor, transmissions,
That's not the original engine, though, is it?
No, it's not the original engine.
Is that a flathead in there?
Yes, 255 flathead.
Okay. Oh, so you got the fancy sort of valve covers. I was looking at thinking, Offenhauser.
We don't have valve covers. This is a flathead.
Oh, that's right.
Flathead motor.
Right. This is right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. This is the head.
Yes, those are the heads. They. It's basically the same one. Well, same motor that would be in here originally, the 255 flathead.
Okay.
These motors.
Flatheads have made a real comeback. Guys are in love with them.
They are very popular down in the States yet. In fact, they have clubs that actually race these.
Yes.
And they don't look anything like the motor I have in here. They're supercharged, they're everything.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, they have quite a clubs down there. But
Okay. What have you got for carburation on here?
right now she's running a Carter about 450 cc CFM.
Okay, that's a good sized carb then.
Yeah.
So what do you think you're...
Actually, it's not. It's a little underpowered.
You think so?
Yeah.
It's not giving it enough?
You're right. Yeah.
Really?
If I go up, say, Lumsden Hill,
Yeah.
and I try to get a little more oomph out of it, I haven't got it. So
you could go a little bigger.
yes, I had a bigger carburetor on it till about 2 weeks ago, and
What happened to that carb?
it gave up the ghost.
Okay.
And I had a chance to rebuild it, but I haven't had it yet. So
Yeah, carburetors can be pretty finicky, finding all those darn parts and everything.
well, so I just pulled this one off the shelf, and it's working for now.
Yeah.
At least it's getting me around. That's the main thing.
Yeah. No, kidding.
Yeah.
So this is your oil
bath.
Yeah. Okay, that's
That's the oil filter right there.
Okay.
Oh,
right up above.
Yeah, yeah. These cars are forced up through the back of the motor, through, and that's the pipe you see coming down there. That's the drain pipe back to the.
It's kind of a nice accessible thing, though. I mean, you're not crawling underneath there and doing all that stuff.
No, it's nice to
It's a
work.
canister filter kind of thing.
It's a canister filter, right? The only problem with these is getting the filters, which are hard to do. They still make them, but harder to get.
Yeah, yeah.
Guys have been known to use toilet paper in there.
Really?
A roll of toilet paper to.
Roll of toilet paper. Toilet paper can disintegrate, though, and go into your oil.
Well, yeah, back in the days, guys used to use a whole bunch of things: toilet paper, paper towels, whatever. Just enough to filter the junk out of the oil and back in.
Toilet paper, I can see that. Yeah, it's about the right size. Yeah.
Yep.
Don't get a double roll, you get a single roll.
Well, actually, some of the Lincolns and some of the like the cars like the Monarchs, they have one that's like double high to this one.
Oh. Okay.
And yeah, they use 2 rolls in that one.
2. So let's have a look inside the interior. What have you done with the interior?
Basically, put it back to stock. It would be the same type of material.
You got the A&W guy hanging out there?
Yeah, it would be the same type of material, and minus the carpet, of course. I like the carpet. Some people like to leave it black floor mat.
Oh, is that how? Yeah, yeah.
Originally, it would be a black floor mat.
So rubberized kind of mat?
Yeah. Same type of stuff you'd have in your trunk, basically.
Yeah. Oh, very nice.
And when I worked at a car dealership years ago in my younger days, making $1 here and $1 there, basically use the same tire shine that you use on your tires.
Oh.
You just put it on your floor mat, and that used to make them look real nice and shiny. And
I wonder what that product was. Who knows? Huh?
it's tire.
Some sort of tire shine of something.
Yeah, and
cool.
and you usually used to do it on your pedals and everything else to make everything nice and shiny for the customer that wanted to buy a car.
I like these sun visors here, and you've got one on the front there too.
Yeah, they're basically rain drips.
Oh, is that what it is? Rain?
Stop. You could have your window down. You wouldn't get rain in the car.
Oh, that's what that is. But that's the sun thing up in the front.
Yeah. Well, basically, if you look at some of the new trucks today, they have these things.
Yeah.
But they're made out of plastic. Those.
Yeah.
Well, these are actually chrome.
So what's the color? Do you know what it is?
It's jet black and bone white.
Okay.
Basically, it's not original color. And in fact, to be honest about it, in '52, there's very few blacks made from '52 up. Before '52, Henry Ford always said you could have any color you wanted as long as it was black.
Yeah, that's right.
And
so we tried to get away from that a little bit.
Yes, this car was originally green.
Okay. Good.
It was a pale green with a bone white roof. It wouldn't be a straight white. It was a bone white. Sort of a little more yellow to it. And the gentleman who did this car decided to go with a black and a white. I like his idea.
Yeah.
I like the black and white.
I like these little sort of kind of that's part of your controls for your heater and stuff like that.
Heaters, heat temp, and vents.
Yeah. Right there, right by the driver.
Yeah, a lot of these cars that came out after the war, they went with the idea of, looks like an airplane.
Yeah, do some airplane control.
Your bumpers look like they had bombs coming out of the front of them.
Yeah, Spitfires and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Harvey Earl and all those guys got very attracted to airplane stuff.
Airplanes on your hood example.
Yeah. That's true.
And then later on, they got away from this stuff and went a little more traditional.
Yeah.
But right after the war, a lot of the cars looked like they came out of a war factory.
Yeah. No, it's cool though. I love it. Well, it's a great car. Well, thanks. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say, this is just basically a glorified Ford back in the day.
Yeah.
You had your Ford, you had your Meteor. This is just a Mercury, which is just one step up.
Oh, okay, that's how it worked. Mercury is a little stuff on it.
And the Lincoln would be just above this one.
Yeah.
So it was sort of a...
Yeah, a little fancier model for the guy who had a few more bucks.
Yeah, a few more dollars, yeah. I never had a Merc. I've always had like the old typical Ford or Meteor. I drove from the time I was 16 to, a long time. I drove Ford. You could buy them back then fairly cheap, and you just drove them,
Yeah.
This one here is a Merc, so I...
A little better. Treat yourself, huh?
Well, no, I had the opportunity to buy this one, and they don't come up too often. So, in fact, I have not seen another one. I've seen some two-door hardtops, and this year I've never seen another four-door, and that's what this one is, a four-door sedan.
Beautiful.
And I hear there's one up in Prince Albert, but from what I've seen of it, it needs some TLC. But this one's done. It's just fun. It drives nice. It handles nice. Floats down the highway. Just, car weighs 4,500 pounds.
Ooh, ton and a bit. 2 tons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of steel there.
And that's without gas in it.
Well, congratulations. Thanks for joining us on Cruising on 7.
My pleasure.
Thanks for joining us on Cruising on 7. We had a lot of fun. We've seen a lot of cool cars here at the Saskatchewan Ford Mercury Show here at the Northgate Mall. Join us for the next episode of Cruising on 7.
Auto Gallery Subaru, located at 609 Winnipeg Street, has an excellent selection of premium pre-owned vehicles for every budget, featuring Subaru's legendary and award-winning all-wheel drive. Auto Gallery Subaru will make your experience one to remember.